Henrique stepped into the elevator of his new building, the moving boxes piled in the corner indicating he was still settling in. He let out a heavy sigh, recalling the events that led to his relocation. A mysterious medical error that had shaken his career as a plastic surgeon. Just as the elevator doors were about to close, a hand stopped them, and Alice hurried in, her eyes tired and her expression worn. Time seemed to freeze. Alice, the dedicated anesthesiologist and former rival of Henrique during their university days, looked just as surprised as he was. Their lives had taken different paths since graduation, but here they were, in the same building, sharing the same space, both bearing invisible scars. Henrique remembered the heated debates, the intense competitions, and how each of them had tried to outdo the other. But now, standing before him, was a different Alice, one weakened by the pressures and authority abuses she faced at work, resulting in deep depression. Alice broke the silence first, her voice soft and a bit hesitant. "Henrique, you live here now?" He nodded, still trying to process the coincidence. "Yes, I just moved in. It seems fate decided to play a joke on us." They exchanged shy smiles, acknowledging the irony of the situation. The elevator stopped on Henrique's floor, and he offered to help Alice with her groceries. As they walked to her apartment, the conversation unfolded, a mix of nostalgia and curiosity about the paths their lives had taken. As they said goodbye, Henrique couldn't help but think that perhaps this unexpected reunion was a sign that, despite their personal crises and hardships, they could find a new direction together, starting with a renewed friendship. As he returned to his apartment, Henrique felt a small spark of hope ignite within him, wondering what it would be like to reconnect with Alice, not as rivals, but as two human beings seeking healing and, perhaps, something more. Settling into his new apartment, Henrique found himself reminiscing about the past. He remembered the days in medical school when Alice was more than just a classmate. She was his fiercest rival. The memories were sharp and vivid. Late-night study sessions, heated arguments over surgical techniques, and the constant struggle to outshine each other. Alice was relentless, always pushing him to his limits. She was brilliant, determined, and never backed down from a challenge. Their rivalry was intense, but it was also a driving force that propelled them both to excel. Henrique couldn't deny that their competition had made him a better surgeon. As fate would have it, they were now neighbors, both dealing with the aftermath of their respective crises. Henrique's career was in shambles due to a mysterious medical error, and Alice, the once unstoppable force, was now battling depression from the relentless pressure and abuse of authority she faced at work. One evening, they bumped into each other in the hallway. Their initial awkwardness gave way to a genuine conversation about the past. They laughed about their old arguments and the fierce competition that had once defined their relationship. It was strange how time and adversity had softened those memories, transforming their rivalry into a shared bond. Over coffee, they talked about their dreams and how reality had deviated from their expectations. Henrique opened up about the scandal that had tarnished his reputation, while Alice spoke about the burnout and emotional toll her job had taken on her. It was a moment of vulnerability that neither had expected, but it was also a step towards understanding and healing. Their conversations became more frequent, each encounter peeling back another layer of their past. The old rivalry was still there, but it was now tempered with mutual respect and empathy. As they delved deeper into their shared history, they began to see each other not just as competitors, but as allies in their journey towards recovery and self-discovery. Henrique and Alice realized that, despite their differences, they had always pushed each other to be better. And now, in this unexpected reunion, they had the chance to help each other find new paths, rekindling a connection that was once defined by rivalry but could now blossom into something more profound. Henrique's world had turned upside down. The once celebrated plastic surgeon now found himself in the midst of a professional nightmare. The mysterious error that led to his patient's complications had not only tarnished his reputation but also left him questioning his own abilities. His colleagues distanced themselves, and the hospital where he had built his career suspended him pending an investigation. The weight of disgrace was heavy, and for the first time, Henrique felt truly lost. Across the hall, Alice was grappling with her own demons. Years of enduring excessive work hours and the harsh demands of her superiors had taken their toll. What started as a passion for anesthesiology had turned into a relentless grind, leaving her physically and emotionally exhausted. The final blow came when she was reprimanded for a mistake she didn't make, an incident that pushed her into a deep depression. Alone in her apartment, the vibrant and competitive Alice had faded into a shadow of her former self. Their lives had collapsed in different ways, yet their struggles brought them together. Each morning, they would meet in the hallway, exchanging brief nods of acknowledgement that slowly grew into words of concern and eventually, conversations of shared suffering. They understood each other's pain in a way no one else could. Henrique found solace in talking to Alice. She listened without judgment, offering a compassionate ear when he needed it most. In return, he provided her with a sense of companionship and understanding that she had long been missing. They were both rebuilding from the rubble of their collapsed lives, finding strength in their shared vulnerability. Together, they navigated their personal hells. Henrique started to see a therapist, a step he never thought he would take, and Alice began exploring new hobbies, trying to rekindle a spark of joy in her life. Their evenings often ended with long discussions about their past dreams and the possibility of new beginnings. The more time they spent together, the more they realized that their collapse wasn't the end, but perhaps a painful rebirth. They started to envision a future that wasn't defined by their past failures, but by the strength they found in each other. Slowly, the rivalry of their past was replaced by a bond of mutual respect and burgeoning affection, setting the stage for a new chapter in their lives. Henrique and Alice's relationship began to evolve from simple conversations to deep, meaningful support. Henrique, once a pillar of confidence and skill, found himself leaning on Alice more than he ever thought he would. Alice, who had spent years hiding her struggles behind a mask of competence, began to open up to Henrique, sharing her fears and insecurities. Their mornings started with coffee together, a small ritual that brought a semblance of normalcy to their chaotic lives. Henrique would listen as Alice recounted her sleepless nights and the anxiety that often paralyzed her. He, in turn, would share his frustrations about the ongoing investigation and his doubts about ever returning to surgery. They were both vulnerable, and in that vulnerability, they found strength. Alice suggested they attend a support group for medical professionals dealing with burnout and depression. At first, Henrique was hesitant, but seeing Alice's determination, he agreed. The group sessions were eye-opening for both of them. They met others who were going through similar struggles, and for the first time, they didn't feel alone. Sharing their stories and hearing those of others helped them process their own pain and begin the journey of healing. Henrique's therapist encouraged him to rediscover his passion for medicine outside the high-stress environment of surgery. He began volunteering at a local clinic, offering his skills to those who couldn't afford cosmetic procedures. The gratitude of his patients and the impact he made on their lives reignited a spark within him. He remembered why he had fallen in love with medicine in the first place. Alice, inspired by Henrique's volunteer work, decided to start a blog about her experiences as an anesthesiologist. She wrote candidly about her struggles with depression and the toxic work environment that had contributed to it. Her blog quickly gained traction, resonating with many healthcare professionals who felt the same way. The positive feedback she received was therapeutic, and it gave her a new sense of purpose. Their evenings were spent discussing their progress and setbacks, celebrating small victories, and comforting each other during the tough times. They became each other's rock, providing unwavering support and encouragement. Henrique's confidence began to return, and Alice found joy in her writing and advocacy. As they supported each other through recovery, their bond grew stronger. They realized that together, they could overcome the challenges that had once seemed insurmountable. Their relationship, once built on rivalry and competition, was now founded on mutual respect, support, and a deep, abiding love. They were healing, not just as individuals, but as partners, ready to face whatever the future held, hand in hand. As Henrique and Alice continued to support each other, they began to explore new avenues in their professional and personal lives. Their renewed sense of purpose and their deepening bond opened doors they had never considered before. Henrique found himself drawn to the idea of teaching. His experiences and the lessons he had learned through his own struggles made him an ideal mentor for young medical students. He started giving guest lectures at a nearby university, sharing his knowledge and passion for surgery, but also emphasizing the importance of mental health and work-life balance. His lectures were a hit, and soon, he was offered a permanent position as a professor. Henrique embraced this new role with enthusiasm, finding immense satisfaction in shaping the next generation of doctors. Alice's blog continued to grow in popularity, and she was invited to speak at conferences about her experiences with burnout and depression in the medical field. Her candid storytelling and advocacy for mental health resonated with many, and she became a sought-after speaker. She decided to write a book, combining her personal journey with practical advice for healthcare professionals. The process of writing was therapeutic for Alice, allowing her to reflect on her experiences and turn her pain into a powerful message of hope and resilience. Together, Henrique and Alice began to explore the idea of starting a wellness center for healthcare professionals. They envisioned a place where doctors, nurses, and other medical staff could come for counseling, support groups, and wellness programs. They wanted to create a safe space where their colleagues could find the help they needed before reaching a breaking point. The idea of giving back to the community that had once overwhelmed them filled them with a renewed sense of purpose. Their relationship flourished as they pursued these new paths. They spent their weekends brainstorming and planning, their shared vision bringing them even closer. The love that had slowly blossomed between them now felt unshakable, built on a foundation of mutual understanding and support. Henrique and Alice's new endeavors not only helped them heal but also brought them immense joy and fulfillment. They had found a way to turn their past struggles into something meaningful, something that could help others navigate the challenges of the medical profession. As they looked towards the future, they were filled with hope and excitement, ready to face whatever came next together. Their journey of rediscovery and healing had transformed them, and now they were ready to embrace the new paths they had found, hand in hand. As Henrique and Alice delved deeper into their new projects and supported each other through their respective challenges, their bond grew stronger. Late-night brainstorming sessions turned into cozy dinners, and professional camaraderie blossomed into heartfelt conversations about their fears, dreams, and the future. One evening, after a particularly successful lecture Henrique had given, they decided to celebrate with a quiet dinner at a small, cozy restaurant. The atmosphere was warm and intimate, with soft music playing in the background. They talked and laughed, the pressures of their past lives momentarily forgotten. It was in this comforting setting that Henrique reached across the table, taking Alice's hand in his. "Alice," he said softly, "I don't know where I would be without you. You've been my rock through everything." Alice felt her heart swell with emotion. "And you've been mine, Henrique. I can't imagine going through this journey with anyone else." As the night wore on, the connection between them became undeniable. The barriers they had both put up over the years slowly crumbled, leaving room for vulnerability and genuine affection. The love that had been quietly growing now felt ready to bloom fully. Days turned into weeks, and their relationship continued to deepen. They found solace in each other's presence, a sense of peace that had been missing from their lives for so long. They supported each other's dreams, celebrated each other's successes, and comforted each other during moments of doubt. One weekend, they decided to take a break from their hectic schedules and escape to the countryside. The serene environment provided the perfect backdrop for them to reflect on their journey. During a peaceful walk through a flower-filled meadow, Henrique stopped and turned to Alice. "Alice, I've realized something," he began, his voice filled with sincerity. "Through all the struggles, the pain, and the healing, I found something truly precious. I found you." Alice's eyes sparkled with unshed tears. "Henrique, you've shown me a kind of love I thought I'd only ever write about. You've helped me find myself again." As they stood there, surrounded by nature's beauty, they shared a tender kiss, sealing the bond that had formed between them. It was a moment of pure love and connection, one that neither of them would ever forget. From that day forward, their relationship flourished. They faced challenges together, celebrated victories together, and continued to grow both as individuals and as a couple. Henrique and Alice had found a love that was built on understanding, respect, and unwavering support. Their love story, which had begun amidst personal turmoil and professional setbacks, had transformed into a beautiful journey of healing and rediscovery. And as they looked towards the future, they knew that no matter what came their way, they would face it together, their love stronger than ever.